Piece by piece the silence breaks, every bolt a beast awakes. Hands in steel, no turning back. I built the dark, painted black. Built in silence, forged in fear. Every piece brings darkness near. Engines whisper, then they roar. The streets won't sleep anymore. Steel and shadow locked in place, built for streets that never sleep. Shadows bend when wheels ignite. This machine was born for night. From scattered parts to something grand, the city fades, the lights grow dim. No hero calls, no warning sound, just the tumbler Gotham bound.
Hi guys, welcome back. We've got another Batmobile Tumbler video. So yeah, we're going to be carrying on with the probably another 3 issues, because that seems to be about the right length for the videos I'm going for. So yeah, without further ado, let's go down to the bench and we'll start with issue 19. So we are, as I say, on to issue 19, and it looks like we're going to be doing the pilot seat in this collection of issues. Whether they carry on or whether it switch to something else, I don't know. We'll get that far when we get to it. But for now, we're going to be starting the pilot seat and its first components. So I've already laid out some of the parts we've got here. So we've obviously got the pilot seat itself, we've got the seat supports left and right, and then we've got the seat joints, and then we also have CP screws, which are in my tray. So yeah, the first thing we need to do is move them to one side. We're going to grab the pilot seat, we're going to face it in this orientation. And then we're going to take our, we're going to study these carefully, make note of the components that are being matched. Right, okay, so we've got some pins either side here, and they're going to marry up with the holes on these parts here. So this left side is going to go on here first, and that's going to push on like so. So this bit is inside, and then this side we're going to put on, and we're going to match that up and then match the center up over there like so. There's a little bit of a satisfying click there, and that is how that bit goes together. We now need to, facing this orientation, we're going to take this part, which is marked L, which is in there, and that is going to go up the top there, and then that's going to be secured in with a CP screw. Just get that ready. With the indent facing towards the rest of this part. I'll just screw this in. Again, I'm not sure how tight it needs to be, but just so you've got an idea, it's going to look like that. We're then going to flip this round, and we're going to do the same on the other side. And that's going to be facing in the same direction. Again, not quite sure how tight these need to be yet, but we can always tighten them up later on as we progress. Okay, so that was quite a short issue, but there we go. That is just matching all this up to make sure that looks right, and that's what we have in issue 19. Okay, so now we're moving on to issue 20 of the Batmobile Tumbler, and as suspected, we are going to be carrying on with that pilot seat. So we're going to be doing the base this time. So not too many parts in this issue, but we do have the left and right arms, which are these parts here. We have the base itself. And then we have handles. These are both identical. And then we have some more CP screws. They seem to be the favourite screw on this build, I've noticed at the moment. For plastic parts anyway. So, first thing we need to do is identify these. The arms. One should have an L on and one should have an R on. So this is my left, and there's my right, and it does show that. I don't know if camera will pick that up, but it's just up there in the apex there. So that's my right. So first we're going to take the left one, and then we're going to take the seat assembly from the last issue we've just done, and we're going to put this part into this hole, and then that other part is going to go on there. Quite a tight fit. A little click there. So that's going to sit on there like that. And then we're going to secure that with a CP screw to secure that into place. Again, not sure how tight that needs to be yet, but we can play with that afterwards. So that's what we are looking like. So the next step is to repeat the process on the other side. So we're just going to pop that into this hole, push that in, line up the top, and then we'll have a CP screw securing that in, and that's what we're looking like at the moment. Okay, so I'm not sure what sort of movement this is going to have, if any. Probably doesn't feel like we're going to get a lot of movement out of that, so I think that is good. So we're now going to fix this to the base. So we're going to take the base, the open sides towards the base, and that's going to just slot in there like so. And then there's two screw holes either side, and that sort of fits where it wants to fit. Relatively, you'll know when that's together, and then we're going to use two more CP screws to secure that at the bottom. So just going to line that hole up. That's one. And the same on the other side. Perfect. And that is, we've got a little bit of articulation there, not too much. But I'm just going to tighten them up. Oh, just a little bit more. That's lovely. Okay, so that is that part complete. Okay, so the next step is to position the two handles either side, and they're going to go into these two holes on the side here. These are both identical parts, so they will go in either side. So that's one side in, and then the same for the opposite side. Just be careful that you're pushing directly on the pin and not in the middle. And there are our seat handles. It doesn't mention gluing these in. They're just a push fit, but they're quite a tight fit, so I think that is good. So there we have issue 20 complete. I'm just about to see that, how that looks. Okay, so moving on to issue 21 now of the Batmobile Tumbler. Again, we're going to be working more on this seat, the pilot seat, and we're going to be doing the actual seat itself. So we've only got a few parts in this. So we've got the upper padded part of the seat, which is feels quite nice, a nice rubber material. We've got the hard plastic, and then we've got a couple of size stickers, double-sided adhesives, which will be used to stick those together. And then again, we've got some CP screws that I have already put in my tray. So yeah, we seem to be getting a lot of CP screws, which is good. I like using one screw because it's not, you know, you haven't got loads to sort. So the first step then is to take the lower seat shell, which is part B, which is the harder surface. Yeah, we're going to take this lower seat shell and we're going to put one of the smaller sticky pad in this square up here, and then the larger one in the bottom there. I'll do them first. So it should be quite easy to do because they will match up. So that is one in, and then we're going to put the same in on the lower part of this seat. And that is steps 1 to 6 complete. Okay, so the next job is to remove, get my tweezers out. We're going to remove the top of these adhesive pads. One and two, just like so. And then we're going to fit the padded part on top. And that should just fit in nicely. Like so. Just make sure that's pushed down. Yeah, so that seems to be stuck down. Okay, so then we're going to retrieve the seat. And then we're going to match up these 4 posts in there like so. That'll just go in one way. And then we're going to put a CP screw just down into this bottom hole here. It looks like there's only 2 screws holding that in. So that's the first one in, just down here. And if I turn the page, yeah, we're going to be putting the last one in the opposite corner, just up here. Fairly straightforward. That is that all into place. And that is the bottom seat done. So actually, they were quite quick, these issues this week, but I hope you enjoyed them. So that was 3 more issues done. We've built some of the seat up, which is looking great. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. If you're enjoying following the build, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything, and it really helps out the channel. But that just leaves me to say, have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next week for more. Take care, everyone.
Just the tumbler.